Shout out to everybody. We back. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody for all the support. I've been like crazy busy, just like y'all, man. Like, so it's been taking a minute before I can get back into the groove of YouTube. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting the channel. We got a new president. It's what it is right now. Some people are happy about it. Some people are upset about it. I get it. Like anything involving, presidential election, somebody's not going to be happy. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't nothing you can do. You know what I mean? I would say people out there, just be very careful. Shout out to everybody, all the people in the chat coming in. Y'all coming in fast. Thug life. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody that's been supporting me. Y'all have no idea how much I appreciate y'all. Even people behind the scenes that helped out with a couple things that ended up happening last week. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all. Now, I do want to say a couple of things I'm starting to see in less than 48 hours. Things are starting to change. And he's not even in office yet. Can we say that? Like, he's not even in office yet, and already Vladimir Putin wants to talk to Donald Trump. You know what I mean? And it's a couple people kind of thinking about, stopping this madness that's going on around the world, and that is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Brill in the chat. I see you, Corey. I see you, Marcus Chapman. I see you, AWAX. Come on, bro. Shout out to you, Cassandra Levy. Shout out to you in the chat. Jamaica, a member in here. Oh, hey, Jamaica is a member in here. I appreciate you for being a member. Said, we go on, fam. Big up to you and your fan. And some people kind of wonder, like, yo, Piperboy Williams, why did you step into politics? I'm gonna say this. I just felt like me personally, right? I felt like the country was going in the wrong direction. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, you seen like when Brett Baer was talking to Kamala Harris and he showed her the poll of, I think it was like around 79% of Americans kind of felt that way. And you could see like with the election results, like in all the different districts, like when you look at the red and the blue, it was just like it was a sweep, man. Like they made it too big to fail. But me personally, it's just that I can afford to, you know what I mean, like certain things, but a lot of people I know are struggling right now, and I felt like I had to say something. I didn't think it was great to continue on the same path that we was on. And I've seen a big decline, just my personal opinion, seeing what's going on, so yeah, I mean, people make your voices heard one way or another. Like I always say in all of my videos, hey, if you're blue, you blue, you red, vote for however you feel like voting for your life. You know what I mean? Some people may feel like they're in a situation of where voting blue may be advantageous for them, and some people feel like voting red is advantageous for them, but all in all, like, I'm glad this was a peaceful election. That's the only thing I could ask for, is it to be a peaceful election, and people just accept the results, and I've been saying that, and it looks like it was pretty peaceful. Kamala Harris, she did take a minute, to give a speech. I think what was it, like 24 hours or something like that, for her to end up giving the speech, conceding. I mean, I don't know why she just didn't do it, like, right away. But she could have been emotional. This is a big deal, like, for both parties, an election, the debates, the stress, the rallies, the preparation, maybe she felt like, yo, I just need a break at this moment just to take in everything, but shout out to Trump. Hopefully we end up getting into a good space in the country. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to show you guys this. So Trump is addressing his thoughts on the new Mexican president. Just listen to this.
Yo, listen to this. Trump has a message for the Mexican president.
But now we have a new president in Mexico. Supposed a very nice woman. They say I haven't met her, and I'm going to inform her on day one or sooner that if they don't stop this onslaught of criminals and drugs coming into our country, I'm going to immediately impose a 25% tariff on everything they send in to the United States of America. And the reason I delayed that is you're the first ones I've told it to. Congratulations, North Carolina. And it's only got a 100% chance of working, because if that doesn't work, I'll make it 50. And if that doesn't work, I'll make it 75 for the tough guys, and I'll make it 100.
Yo, listen.
Yo, that is big, bro. Like, if he actually did, like, if you go back and look at some of the, you know, the rallies or whatever that he taught, like, that's a big deal. Big deal. Shout out to Cole.Carter, a member. He said, Thug Life. Shout out to you. Shout out to Sugar Black. I could not have done 100,000 subscribers without you, Sugar Black. I appreciate you continuing to tell people to subscribe to the channel. That is very, very major. And we see right now, NBC News ends up putting out, Putin congratulates Trump on election win, says he's ready for talks. This is less than, 48 hours? And this guy wants to talk? That's a big deal, you know, and I'm excited to have, you know, an administration coming in here that is gonna probably be a strong administration. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, if they can get into some good talks, they can end up stopping what's going on in Iran. I'm sorry, Ukraine. So that will be major, very, very major, very, very good news, you know. And you know, I've seen some other news. I'm not sure if I can say that. I talked to YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. And I was like, I asked him a question. I was like, yo, are you allowed to talk about Trump on this platform, like, in a positive way? And the reason why I asked him that is because I threw up it was a short of Donald Trump. It was that video that I showed you guys of him, like, talking about the new Mexican president, and it went limited ads. Like, Trump didn't say anything bad. He didn't say anything wrong in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he said anything wrong. And then the video got limited monetization. It just means, like, it's still, you still make money from it, but you're not going to make the most amount of money for it. And, like, on my channel, I would say, like, the high 90%, right? Everything's green, which means it's fully monetizable. So, and, you know, I talked to them about that. They didn't say, like, one way or another, but they was just like, you know, you good, like, you're not doing anything wrong, like, so you good. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but people are not going to be just super Kamala supporters or super Trump supporters. People want to be, like, back and forth and have their opinions, you know what I mean? But YouTube, they kind of they've been good. Whenever I reach out to them, they come right back, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. So let's listen to this. So it says, Candace Owens calls out the hypocrisy. Calls out Democrat hypocrisy. Let's listen to that. Let's listen to this. Shout out to Candace Owens. Shout out to Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan did a great job, phenomenal job, being having a lot of people on the panel. I felt like was fire, you know, and different perspectives from people from all different platforms. I think he played the moderator very, very good on both sides a lot of times. So shout out to Piers Morgan. Everything that you did during the election cycle, I think you did a very, very good job. Shout out to you. But let's listen to what Candace Owens got to say.
A man that is in a dress. You can play Halloween. You can put lipstick on a pig. It is still a pig, and it is just Halloween.
Donald Trump's stunning comeback has upended some long-held assumptions about U.S. politics. His landslide-winning coalition includes many supposed voting groups that Democrats have long taken for granted. In fact, one of the biggest lessons they will need to learn is that demography is not destiny. Black voters aren't a monolith, and neither, for that matter, are men and women.
One thing I do want to say, too, before we continue on with this, I think this may be we're getting close to maybe not having identity politics like we've been having. You know what I mean? Like, I am looking forward to that. You know, it's just going to be off of the policies. Hopefully moving forward, that's where we're going to be at, off of the policies and not because of anything else. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate Americans. Like, people say America, oh, they're not smart in America, but I think America, like, for the most part, did the right thing. Shout out to them. JG said, I hate you. We'll do a live like this. I can't close my screen to watch while I'm working. Step your game up. What are you talking about, JG? Like, what are you talking about? You don't want me live? I don't get what you're saying. Frontline said, send them back one by one, man. Like, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Let's listen.
Trump made huge inroads with black voters, and in the end, the first black female candidate for president fared worse than Joe Biden.
And if y'all can, double tap the screen, that'll send in a like. Also, if you can, the emoji section, like hit the hearts, hit the confetti, all of that, that helps to push the video out. There's a lot of competition, especially now, so if y'all can help do that, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, members, I'm thinking about like, having a live where, I talk to y'all for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Exclusively, you know what I mean? But y'all can gift memberships and stuff like that. And people been doing that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have really been the supporting block of the channel. You know what I'm saying? The members, the people hitting the super chat, all of that. Because y'all got to understand, like, it's so much pressure out there. Like, when you sitting on like 100,000 subscribers or 90 something thousand subscribers to talk about entertainment, that's where the real money is. You know what I'm saying? Entertainment. And y'all have been, basically keeping the channel running. I appreciate y'all, for everything, all the subscribers, all the positive, the DMs and different social media. Like, I appreciate y'all, you know what I mean? And like, when I had a little hiccup with the channel, YouTube figured it out and fixed it real quick. Y'all was, hitting your boy up, making sure I was good. I appreciate y'all very, very much. Y'all have no idea. I haven't had this level of support in years. And you got to think, I've been on YouTube for like mad years. And the most amount of support I've gotten have been within the last month being on here, and having dealt with so much negativity throughout my, blogging career till now. Like, it feels good, man, to be able to come on and talk about what you want and have people, either they may appreciate what you got to say or not like what you say, but they keep it respectful. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. And Sugar Black said, we appreciate you. Let's listen to this.
The number of women voting actually increased as a share of the electorate, but a potential first female president got just 53% of their votes, the worst result for a Democrat in 2 decades. And despite the prophecy that a comedian's bad joke about Puerto Rico would cost Trump the White House, Trump ended up with 46% of Latino votes and won with Latino men by a whopping 12 points.
But that's big, 46% of the Latino votes. It's really big. That's really big.
It's a new dividing line in US politics. It's not black or white, nor right or left, but right or wrong. To debate that, I'm joined by host of the Candace Owens Show, Candace Owens, and the host of Bet News, Professor and author Mark Lamont Hill. Well, Candace, let me start with you. It was a stunning set of results. But one of the more stunning things to me is that after years of being assured by the left that Trump's the worst racist to ever run for president, you saw so many black and particularly Latino voters racing to vote for him. Why?
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. That was a big part of my prediction, was that especially black men, you could see that they were turning away, especially after Barack Obama was really patronizing to come out. You left your Martha Vineyards estate and decided to roll up your sleeves and inauthentically tell the brothers how they have to behave. I think it's one of these things where you just can't keep doing the exact same thing all the time and not expect people to wake up to your patterns. And it has been a very long pattern of them speaking to people in a manner in which they're essentially telling them that if you don't do this, it's because you're a racist. If you don't do this, it's because you're backwards. If you're a black person, it's your duty to behave like this. And fundamentally, that is racist, right? When you're not even actually saying anything based upon her policies or talking to people as if they're individuals who are having their lives impacted by their bad policies, but rather saying it's incumbent upon you as a woman to vote for her because she's a woman.
Cole Carter said, not this fool Lamont again. I cannot wait to hear what he got to say, Carter. I can't wait. Shout out to you for being a member.
Upon you as a man to vote for him.
And my membership's not like crazy expensive, so if y'all can do that, that'd be appreciated. Let me know if you... I can see when y'all become new members. Shout out to Amma My Magazine. Appreciate you.
Because you're black and she's going to be the first African president, which she wasn't. And so I think...
But, not to digress from my point, you guys have seen it, but I've dealt with a lot of, people being super mad because they feel like my skin color should be the reason why I vote for somebody. And I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter if you're white, black, male, female. If you have good policies, that is what I'm rolling on. I think if Kamala Harris would have focused more on, because she had some things that were good when she was talking about maybe trying to do something with the price gouging of food, and like with Americans being feed to that, because like you buy like a ticket from Ticketmaster, all these fees. If you park at a parking garage, a lot of them, it's a lot of fees. It's just people fee you to death in America. If she would have stuck to that, or at least brought that up enough to make it stick in people's minds, I think people could have looked at her as being policy oriented, right? That would have been one policy she could have threw out. And we looked at both of their websites of what they wanted to introduce, their policy and their promises. So if she would have stuck more to the policy, I think it wouldn't have been such a landslide victory, right? But you got Americans kind of looking like, all right, we literally just lived through the 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration. We don't see anything changing for the better, so what are you going to do for us? Yeah, you can sit here and you can say anything and everything about Trump, but what are you going to do? This guy actually had results. But they could have been saying things like, okay, well, Trump inherited the Obama, the economy. They could have said that, and probably put that into people's minds. But Trump could just be like, okay, well, if you think I inherited it, I maintained it. It's what he could, it's just how you approach it. I think, me being real, I mean, she fought, she did, she really did fight, but I just think the tactics were not the greatest. But I do give her credit too. A lot of people are not gonna like this. You gotta think, man, social media is a brutal place, for politicians. So all the amounts of bullying that she had to go through, bro, y'all gotta see, like on Twitter. Like, I rock with Twitter. Twitter's like one of my favorite, and I'm gonna start posting like videos and stuff on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Elon Musk. But like the amount of what you got to deal with both ways, like when you are running for office, is literally insane. And to be able to do that and not break down, I give her, hats off to her. And then she got like bloggers and media coming at her, like all of that, and she didn't break. I don't think she broke, you know what I mean? But it's just, she just didn't have the policies to really back her up. That was the issue. And then her and Tim Walz consistently blaming Donald Trump for having influence in Congress as the reason that they can't pass anything. So it leaves the impression in American mind, or at least my mind, right? I'm in America. It leaves an impression in my mind. It's like, okay, why would we vote for you if you can't get anything to pass Congress? It's just something to think about. And then another thing you got to think about too, a lot of these, people who were running for the Senate, running for the House, had a lot of momentum. And I think that gets lost in the sauce when you see the presidential debate. You don't really pay attention to who's going to be in the Senate, which party. Just think about this. Let's just say she won, right? But then now you have a Republican House and a Republican Senate. What could she do at that point? She could do like executive orders, but other than that, I think she could run the risk of having like a lame duck presidency where she can't get anything to pass, so I don't know, man. I think the country has been hit so bad that we need somebody to actually get something done, and it just turns out like Republicans have the president, and then they have the House and the Senate right now. So, but there is checks and balances. You still got Congress. They're not just going to pass anything and everything. But we'll see what he can do, and I'm excited to potentially get the wars to stop. I'm not saying he's definitely going to be able to stop them, but I think he has a very good chance. And you got Vladimir Putin coming out wanting to talk to him and stuff like that. So, but not to digress from the point, when she's talking about, people just they feel like you black, you have to vote one way. No, bro. Like, I'm not like, don't let skin color, a lot of y'all too, and I see it. People that I was cool with, like on Twitter, just out of nowhere, just super mad. This is before the election results, super mad, right? And, you know, blocking me and like all kind of crazy stuff just because I don't want to conform. Now, y'all got to think this is social media, right? Imagine in real life how people are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say it like this, and I don't care if people get mad. Black people are very, very opinionated. Very opinionated. You know, and, you know, just imagine like living around a whole bunch of black people and they finding out that you a conservative. That's like the no. You see what I'm saying? For a lot of people. So, like, I could see like people being pressured into voting a certain way.
And I think I've been proven correct here. The celebrity endorsements really hurt them this time around. It felt very cheesy, especially because she wasn't voted for, right? So she had 107 days. She didn't even campaign. They just kind of, it was a coronation more than anything else. It's a coronation. We've picked her for you, and you will do as we are instructing you to do and vote for her because, look, we have LeBron James and we have Beyonce, and that's what you know to do when Taylor Swift gives you a post. I think ultimately they insulted a lot of their voters.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Lamont Hill, I really feel that this time. You know, whether it was Jennifer Lopez lecturing Latinos that this, you know, this is, you can't vote for this guy, or.
And I want to ask y'all this question too. Like everybody in the chat, I'm watching the chat. I kind of low key, even though we're getting some pushback, and I see how people are responding on different social. I seen The View, you know, call for censorship of like alternative media. Like what? Even though I'm seeing stuff like that, I feel like I think Trump can bring the country together, bro. I think some people are like upset, you know, and people are highlighting like the super craziness that's going on TikTok and social media, people crashing out. And I get it, man. It's for the views, it's for everything. But all in all, like I feel like people, they know this was the right decision. I think people know this is the right decision, bro. The only people like, cause you see women saying things like, some women saying things like, oh, well, they don't want to be with their men anymore. You know what I mean? You hear like all kind of like wild things, you know? So hopefully that ends up stopping. But all in all, I feel like, you know, people kind of know this is a good decision. Gainey said, did you see Kimmel cry? Yeah, I seen that. And then Joshua said, we all opinionated. Yeah. ACP said, Trump can bring the country together. We Are Slot Lover says, I knew my boy was going to win. Now watch him work. Exactly. Sugar Black said, Ginger, hit the like button. And y'all respect Sugar Black. Sugar Black is the moderator. Shout out to her. And then Deontay Kennedy, shout out to you. He said, Trump has started to bring us together, and we came together as one voice. That was beautiful to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? And then Most Hated Blogger, shout out to you. Said, I just watched a video, somebody saying, you lost your channel a couple days ago. I was checking, seeing if you straight. Oh, yeah. YouTube figured it out, man. They figured it out. But, yeah, but you know what's crazy? Like, I did, the people, like, when that had happened, like, the people that came together was crazy. It was like, Hip Hop is Real, Easy to Block Captain, ARP, Real Rate Entertainment. They was like putting up like community posts, like, cause I had made like another channel or whatever. They put up community posts. It was people like spreading the word, and like I dropped one video on another channel, and shout out to YouTube because they gave me my old channel back. And I mean, I had like 1,000 subscribers like that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. You know, and then somebody said market is going up regardless. Fed will cut rates.
Barack Obama.
I seen Jerome Powell say, and I'm just gonna, if you guys are subscribed, it's fine. I'm gonna make it subscribers only, that way the chat can slow down. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing against nobody. If you want to talk still, like, just subscribe. You know, it'll be cool. I just want the chat to slow down for a minute. And because I look at the chat, and then Jenga Snap said, "No, I'm not gonna hit the like button because that means I will have to support a traitor that won office." And then Sleep the Ghost said, "I'm at work, but shout out Piper Boy, good to see you back." Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you.
Telling black voters you've got to vote for the black candidate. Oprah, George Clooney, out they come, as they did for Hillary Clinton, but it didn't work for her and it didn't work for Kamala Harris. And I do feel like Candace just said, I felt it actively deterred people. I think it drove them to go and vote against what they...
And then Aboriginal Power said, Piper Boy, did you see where Iran tried to... Nah, I didn't see nothing like that.
Was a kind of celebrity
of them speaking to people in a manner that was going to happen. That was a big part of my prediction, was that especially black men, you could see that they were turning away, especially after Barack Obama was really patronizing to come out. You left your Martha Vineyards estate and decided to roll up your sleeves and inauthentically tell the brothers how they have to behave. I think it's one of these things where you just can't keep doing the exact same thing all the time and not expect people to wake up to your patterns. And it has been a very long pattern of them speaking to people in a manner in which they're essentially...
Wow. Yeah, bro, you're right. I see that. We about to talk about that, bro. Wow. That's crazy. Let me show y'all what he's talking about. This is crazy. This is Fox News. It says Iranian asset charged in plot to assassinate Trump. DOJ says the Justice Department says it has thwarted an Iranian plot to unalive President-elect Donald Trump in the weeks leading up to the election. A criminal complaint filed in federal court in New York City says an unnamed official in Iranian's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps had asked Farhad Shakiri, 51, of Iran in September to focus on surveilling and ultimately assassinating former President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. There are a few factors in the world that pose as grave a threat to the national security of the United States as does Iran. Attorney General Merrick Garland said in a statement, the Justice Department has charged an asset of the Iranian regime who was tasked by the regime to direct a network of criminal associates to further Iran's assassination plots against its target, including President-elect. Yo, what? We have also charged and arrested 2 individuals who we allege were recruited as part of the network to silence and kill on U.S. soil an American journalist who has been a prominent critic of the regime. Garland added, we will not stand for the Iranian regime's attempt to endanger the American people and American national security. Iran, terrified of Trump presidency as Iranian currency falls to an all-time low. The Justice Department says Shakiri, who remains at large and is believed to be living in Iran, immigrated to the United States as a child and was deported in or about 2008 after serving 14 years in prison for a robbery conviction. Shakiri has informed law enforcement that he was tasked on October 7, 2024 with providing a plan to unalive President-elect Donald Trump. It added, Trump was referred to in court filings as Victim 4. According to Shakiri, during his meeting with IRGC officials on or about October 7, 2024, I directed Shakiri to provide a plan within 7 days to unalive Victim 4. If Shakiri was unable to put forth a plan within the time frame, IRGC official, I continued, the IRGC would pause to plan to kill Victim 4 until after the U.S. presidential election because IRGC what official I assassinated the Victim 4 would lose the election, and afterwards it will be easier to unalive him, the document said. That's crazy. Nah, bruh. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro.
telling them that if you don't do this, it's because you're a racist. If you don't do this, it's because you're backwards. If you're a black person, it's your duty to behave like this. And fundamentally, that is racist, right? When you're not even actually saying anything based upon her policies or talking to people as if they're individuals who are having their lives impacted by their bad policies, but rather saying it's incumbent upon you as a woman to vote for her because she's a woman. It's incumbent upon you as a man to vote for him because you're black and she's going to be the first African president, which she wasn't. And so I think, and I think I've been proven correct here, the celebrity endorsements really hurt them this time around. It felt very cheesy, especially because she wasn't voted for, right? So she had 107 days. She didn't even campaign. They just kind of, it was a coronation more than anything else. It's a coronation. We've picked her for you, and you will do as we are instructing you to do and vote for her because, look, we have LeBron James and we have Beyonce, and that's what you know to do when Taylor Swift gives you a post. I think
if y'all can't hit the super chat too, shout out to y'all. The views is going up. Shout out to y'all for hitting the like button and all that. But if y'all can continue to hit the hearts, double tap the screen, that'll help get us into the algorithm. Shout out to everybody.
Ultimately, they insulted a lot of their voters.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Lamont Hill, I really feel that this time. You know, whether it was Jennifer Lopez lecturing Latino.
And I'm only saying that because it's, you know, super chat get more visibility. Because when I start getting videos that get close to 100,000 views and stuff like that, you know, it just, you know, if y'all can't hit the super chat, I appreciate it.
That this, you know, this is, you can't vote for this guy, or Barack Obama telling black voters you've got to vote for the black candidate. And
before we get to Lamont, right? Shout out to Pierce Morgan. He was like, we seen him arguing with Candace Owens before. He was low key, a little bit down the middle with a lot of his arguments. You know, he lost when she went back and forth with him before, but he's a little bit down the middle, you know, so I'm interested to see how he's got more of I think he's leaning more left. He claims he's more libertarian, but I mean, he's more left leaning to me, but I think he was down the middle in the debates mostly.
Oprah, George Clooney, out they come, you know, as they did for Hillary Clinton, but it didn't work for her and it didn't work for Kamala Harris. And I do feel like Candace just said, I felt it actively deterred people. I think it drove them to go and vote against what they saw as a kind of celebrity multimillionaire elite. What do you think of that?
Well, you guys made a few points I'd like to respond to. First, I don't know if celebrity culture or in the wave of celebrities deterred people from voting. I'd rather rely on the data for that. And until I see the data on that, I don't want to make a determination. I think that voters in general want to be spoken to about.
I mean, I do feel like it was celebrity focused. Like, don't y'all think that? It was definitely celebrity focused. Come on, man. Come on, Lamont.
Policy issues. I think they want to be engaged about the things that matter in their lives. But Barack Obama also had a ton of celebrities, and it did work. You know, I think if people like you, celebrities are an added bonus. If they don't like you, if they don't want you, celebrities hurt. I don't think that's the issue here. I think more fundamentally, the question of whether you should vote for somebody because you're black or because you're a woman or whatever is a little more complicated than has been suggested. I think that the message that I would give to somebody is never vote to support somebody because they're black, right? I would never vote for a candidate because they're black, but I will vote for a candidate because I'm black. In other words, I will vote for a candidate that speaks to my interests. And I think it's okay to say to people, hey, there are some things that affect your community, and this candidate is better for you. The problem is we should not presume that because someone is the same race as you or the same gender as you, that they have your community's best interests at heart. I do think in the case of Kamala Harris, though, an interesting thing happened, right? They were basically saying women's reproductive rights are on the table. If you specifically are pro-abortion, you should be voting for Kamala Harris because that's your only chance at saving what has already been a devastating law.
Yeah, but I don't agree with you really. Like, Lamont, like just because somebody's black, like that, like come on, bro. Like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, bro. Like he's basically saying it, yeah. Like he basically saying if you're black and they're black, yeah. But like, nah, bro. Like, what is you saying? This is dangerous thinking.
laws. I think that is logical. If you support abortion, Donald Trump ain't the guy to vote for based on what he said and based on what Kamala Harris has said. I think, though, what we saw in America and what we always see in America is that white people in general, in terms of the majority, are not going to vote for a Democrat. No Democrat has gotten the majority.
Oh yeah, you can gift membership. Shout out to Sugar Black for that. Daughter of the Lion King said, Sugar Black, where is the super chat?
Majority of white voters since like LBJ. It's been decades.
And
so
then Sarah Robertson, shout out to you, said, I think it hurts having all the celebrities that were with Diddy. Maybe the celebrities would have helped before Diddy was exposed. Yeah. Because it's just like, I mean, some people ignored it. Even people that constantly talk about Diddy, they literally sat there and ignored that these are all people suspected of going to the white party. Like, they literally ignored that, which was crazy. Lunacy.
Ultimately, white people often don't vote their interests. Black people often don't vote their interests. And I think that's the problem. And that's why many of us get so frustrated.
But I had a fascinating conversation with an African-American woman, I guess in her late 30s, maybe early 40s, yesterday. And she voted Trump for the first time. And I said, why? And she said, it's interesting. I grew up in a family where you just would automatically vote for a black presidential candidate, if there was one, Barack Obama, and now Kamala Harris. And she said that was how my family were. And she said, and I decided this time that I didn't care about the fact she was a woman or that she was black. I cared about what she was going to do for my personal finances, what she was going to do about the border, what she was going to do about all these things.
Sarah Robinson said, thanks for the shout out and read my comments. I try to do that. Like, if you subscribe, like I look at the comments. If y'all say something, sometimes I'll say it, so shout out to you for being subscribed. I appreciate that. You help. Hey, you one of the people that helped get me to 100,000. I feel like, so shout out to you.
Talked about a number of issues. And it was really interesting. She said, I voted, she said, I was almost colorblind when I voted. I didn't care that she looked like me. I cared about what she could do for me. And I wonder, given how many black voters gravitated to Trump this time, and given particularly how many Latinos did, how many of them are having that same conversation with themselves, saying they may not even like him that much. She wasn't a particular fan of Trump's, but she just was put off by the kind of posturing of people to try and direct you to vote according to your ethnicity.
Yeah. It's fundamentally just not educated to vote for someone and say, well, this person looks like me, so that means that they have my best interests at heart. I just think it's the most uneducated thing you could possibly do. And it's especially rich when you have someone, because Mark, you just said, I maybe wouldn't vote for them because they're black, but I might vote for them because I'm black, right? And I might think that their interests align. I hope I'm paraphrasing that correctly, but the reality is even that fundamentally makes no sense. LeBron James, just because he is black, is not living the black experience of somebody who might be living on the south side of Chicago.
Exactly. I mean, because LeBron, like, you got to remember when he was in high school, remember he was, I think they suspected like a talent scout or something of giving LeBron James like a Hummer. Like, I remember like living in Cleveland, Ohio, like the Hummer was like the big vehicle, like everybody wanted, right? And then LeBron James had a Hummer, and people are like, how did he get a Hummer? Like, living around here. And so, like, you got to think since high school, people been pandering to him because of his talent. And then now, look, he's super rich, which is fine, but he's not living Candace Owens is right. Like, he's not living the experience of the average black man that's coming up, which is great for him to be in that space, but it's hard for you to really speak for us right now.
It's actually insulting when LeBron James posts something, and you saw this in the comments, by the way. If we could use any metric, it was the fact that LeBron James had to start hiding comments because the overwhelming majority of them were negative when he made a post. And that was very propagandist. He was using things that Trump said and splicing it and behind clips of the civil rights movement. It made entirely no sense. It was offensive, an offensive level of propaganda. You have a man who lives in a $100 million Bel Air mansion, okay?
Yo, that's crazy. Hey, Lamont, I don't know why he making that face, bro. Maybe it's the $100 million mansion part got him like,
He does not touch his own door handles. Okay. So when he tells you about how he's worried about the future for his children, this man is so wealthy and so connected that he has a son who quite literally is not qualified in terms of his actual metrics to be playing for the Lakers. But because of good old fashioned nepotism, he is playing for the Lakers besides his father because they thought, well, good advertisement, a father and a son playing, you know? And so when you see that taking place and this person pretending to be in the struggle, that's why I said Barack Obama exiting his mansion in Martha's Vineyard to come down and roll up his sleeves and speak to the brothers, it does resonate as insulting. And so at the end of the day, people were moved by, okay, you know what? Despite what the media rhetoric is about Trump, how am I actually living right now? Yeah. And I know they're going to say, well, these statistics show, and they've released this. When I was living under Trump, the gas was low. I was able to afford gas. I was able to afford groceries. And everything the media told me the first time around about him being Adolf Hitler and telling me that he was going to put me back into slave chains didn't come true, right? It didn't come true. I already survived under Trump and I was living better. And so there was this common sense element. And I knew that that was going to happen. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see people say, I'm not going to respond to that sort of a rhetoric anymore. I'm not going to vote because I'm a woman or because I'm black, but I'm going to vote what actually makes sense.
Yeah, Mark, you're shaking your head a lot there. Why?
Well, to the first point, Candace, you may not have heard the second part of what I said. I said, I vote for someone because I'm black. I said, but I also added, I don't presume that because someone shares my color that they represent my interests. So I don't assume that the black person is the best person to represent the black community or that the woman is the best person to represent women's interests. I added that part as well. So we're actually not in disagreement there. I think it's really important to look at the agenda. I have voted in the past for old white men, old white ladies. I didn't vote for Barack Obama when he was on the ticket in '08 as a Green Party member because I thought that the white woman who was running against him, or at that point actually a black woman, had a better chance of meeting my issues. I voted for Jill Stein instead of Hillary Clinton. There have been moments where I don't make that alignment, but I do think we have to vote based on our collective community interests. I think it's interesting, though, that to say someone like LeBron James can't speak for the conditions of a poor person or the everyday black experience of the person struggling in America, if we make that argument, because he's a near billionaire, if not a billionaire, then it would be really hard to make the argument that Trump has the ability to speak for the average Joe. It's sort of interesting that Trump's whole candidacy, his whole campaign has been based on saying, look, his whole candidacy is saying, his whole campaign has said, look, I know what is best to heal America. The people who are working in factories, when he goes down to places like Ohio or Pennsylvania, I've literally stood there as he said, I can get you back working again. I know what you're going through and I can fix the economy for you. And hear me out. Yes. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying that if you have $1 billion, you might be able to do that, although I hate billionaires. And if you have no money, you might be representing the interests of the rich. Again, we can't assume a one-to-one correlation between people's own identity and status and what they're representing. Because when we do that, we make a lot of...
He low-key right, though. He low-key right.
Dangerous assumptions. So I'm not going to reject LeBron James because he's rich. I'm going to reject him if I were to because I don't agree with his argument. Similar to Donald Trump, I happen to agree with LeBron James, though, in this particular case, that Donald Trump did not best represent the interests of the people. While I don't think identity politics should govern our decision-making process, I also don't want us to be naive either as a nation. I don't want us to assume that nobody rejected Kamala Harris because of her womanness or nobody rejected Kamala Harris because of her blackness. And the reason why I say that is
because people can say the same thing about her. Like, wasn't she like raised in like Connecticut or something like that? Or like, hold on, I want to make sure I'm right about this. Because remember we looked at where she came from? And it was like real nice. Yeah, it was Stamford, Connecticut. Remember we looked at all the videos of Stamford, Connecticut, and it was like crazy nice. And so so they could say the same thing about her. Like, you can't really speak for us. Like, she lived in a way more nicer like situation than LeBron James. I mean, depends on how you look at it. Like, the area was like way nicer. But like, if you think modern times and stuff like that, you can technically say, you know, LeBron technically grew up better, but she had she grew up in a very nice neighborhood. So like, I don't know. I think that's kind of her argument is falling flat to me. I think he kind of getting her right here.
Because when we look at the campaign trail, when we look at the surrogates,
and I rock with Candace Owens. Y'all know I rock with her, but he kind of getting it right now.
Trump and other people, or people who just don't like either of them, but are still calling Kamala Harris a whore or a slut or the N-word. I mean, these are things that absolutely suggest that misogyny and misogynoir play into it.
Candace, you want to respond?
Yeah. Hey, Adrian Kennedy says she ain't been in the hood. She don't know the struggle. She don't, bruh. Like, I don't think she know the struggle. Like, she don't.
Yeah, if I may respond. First and foremost, Trump.
She may see, like, obviously she sees it, in different ways. Like, she's being reminded constantly, I'm sure, that she's black. So I'm sure she sees it, but nah, like, she don't. I think LeBron, because I seen where LeBron came from. I think he may know a little bit more than her in terms of the struggle.
Has never tried to say I am a blue collar worker, so that's just completely wrong. He actually leans into the fact that he is. Well, you correlated him to LeBron James, and you said, well, he does the exact same thing that LeBron James is doing. No, LeBron James pretends that he is living a struggle. Trump does not. Trump says, I'm rich, I run a company, and I can help you get rich. He literally makes jokes about the fact that he's rich when he's at these events, and he's tossing jokes about, I'm a billionaire, I've done this. Like, he is the New York City stereotype billionaire who basically says, I've run businesses, and I'm going to run this country like a business, and I'm going to lift you up, and I understand how trade works because I've been running a business. So I just fully reject that he's somehow cosplaying a blue-collar worker. Blue-collar workers are responding to him because he speaks in a way that they believe that he's going to uplift them. That's great. I'm happy we agree on that point, but you did try to correlate him to LeBron James 5 seconds ago, and that's just not the truth. But to respond to your point, because this has really bothered me, people pretending that those who have told the truth about the fact that Kamala Harris did sleep with Willie Brown and was not warranted to the position that she has, district attorney, pretending that this came up because she's running for president or because there's some element of misogyny. That is patently false. It was actually leftist newspapers at the time that she was running in Los Angeles. I pulled up these old articles in the San Francisco Chronicle who were scandalized. They felt that it was a scandal that she was being given so much power, that she was being put on boards that she did not deserve to be put on, and that she was being given those positions and making all that money not based on her merit, but because she was having an affair with Willie Brown. Again, these were the leftist San Francisco articles that were covering it at this time. You can go back, way back, machine it, and read those articles.
Cole.Carter said, I'm about to snap. Wait a minute. Dawn Sankati, a subscriber, saying and claims she listened to Tupac in college and he was like 9. She a race baiter. And Estropic said, go Candace, tell it all.
Articles yourself. So people point to the fact that she was essentially coronated because of who she was sleeping with in the past, and then now is essentially just being handed another position, not because people voted for her. I think it's relevant to the discussion of whether or not she is qualified for that position. That's fine. And the last thing I'll say is that I found it to be really alarming and borderline satanic in the manner that they ran to women and said, well, this is the election that hinges upon abortion. And I am not saying this even as a critique of people that are pro-choice. I actually think they moved away from pro-choice. They went like pro-death. It was very bizarre. It wasn't like...
Yeah, they did. She not lying about that. Like, and I'm a proponent, like, if you're a woman, do whatever you want to do with your body. But they did kind of run that. They was crazy how they ran that campaign.
Like, the typical, we are pro-choice and you are pro-life. They essentially were coming to women, and their only basis for saying to vote for her is, well, the only thing women could possibly care about is whether or not we have the authority to, murder our offspring. I don't think that actually resonated even on the left. They're not that radical on the topic of abortion to make your entire platform hinge upon it. And I think that's the reason why so many people who otherwise are okay with the pro-choice movement, we also saw in those exit polls, moved away. Women moved away totally from the Democratic platform. I think it was a big mistake to hinge an entire election upon the topic of abortion in the way that they did.
Yeah, and Mark, before you respond to that, what I would say about that, and I was discussing this on a BBC interview last night, is it seemed
I've seen somebody say, Sugar Black, how do we share? If y'all can, share the stream out. I appreciate y'all.
To me, there was a real inconsistency.
And another thing, y'all, so Saturday, normally, what I do, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I might drop lives, we might go live sporadically. But then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's when we like go crazy, like we're on YouTube. But my job has been like offering me like mad money to come in. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing just 3 days a week at work, like trying to run the channel to 100,000 subscribers. And I'm still doing that 3 days, but they offering like crazy money to come in. So Saturday, I'm going to end up working. So Saturday night, you know, I go in like at 7 o'clock and I get out at 7. And then Sunday night, we're going to just start going, like running. You know what I'm saying? It just is what we're going to be talking about, entertainment and politics. But it's so much to talk about. I'm excited for the week that's coming up. Shout out to y'all.
If not hypocrisy.
Y'all be surprised how many people hit me up behind the scenes. It's crazy.
On the one hand, Kamala Harris wanted to make the whole thing about, I represent women's rights. Vote for me and I'll protect women's rights. And using abortion as her reason for that and bringing back abortion rights and so on. And that's fine, except that at the same time, she has also been actively promoting the issue, for example, of trans athletes in women's sport, which most people can see is an erosion of women's rights.
And that's literally crazy, too, because they were arguing and found out 11,000 trophies have been distributed to men playing female sports. Like, that's a lot of, like, you don't think, like, 11,000 is a lot. That's a lot of sports events, right? And imagine, like, you have a daughter that's been, you know, practicing and working super hard, and then, you know, a born male comes in there and just dominates the, you see what I'm saying? That's kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, that's an issue. That's a serious issue.
It's unfair, it's unequal. You know, last week, the United Nations said that 900 medals have been deprived from women athletes by trans athletes competing against them, which is obviously completely outrageous.
And that's just one place.
And we saw the scenes in Paris where boxers with male chromosomes were literally beating up women in front of the world. I mean, the whole thing was grotesque. I don't know how the Democrats could consistently say to women, we are here for protecting women's rights, when at the same time they're advocating a direct attack on women's rights.
Yeah, I want to respond to that. I want to respond to the point that Candace made prior. Again, it wasn't me pivoting or shifting my position. I wasn't suggesting that Donald Trump or LeBron James were cosplaying. I'm saying that neither is cosplaying. I think my point is not that LeBron James.
Okay, let me make a correction on what I said, right? So it says the UN says transgender athletes competing in women's athletic events have won nearly 900 medals. So I was off. I was remembering a debate that they had with that guy. We reacted to it. I think they said like 11,000 or 1,100. He may have said 1,100 today, but it says the UN says transgender athletes competing in women's athletic events have won nearly 900 medals over their competitors, according to the results of a study obtained by the National News Desk. And I just want to show y'all this so y'all know I'm not lying to y'all. Hold on. You see what I'm saying? A UN study reveals transgender athletes have won nearly 900 medals in women's competitions. And it says the 20-page document examined violence against women and girls in sports and claims more than 600 biologically female athletes have lost at least 890 medals to transgender competitors. These defeats occur in over 400 competitions in 29 sports, though authors did not specify specific events, levels of competition, or time periods. Interesting.
James is a legitimate poor person.
Yeah, 900 ain't no better. It ain't no better.
My point is, he's a rich person who is able to speak to the experiences of a poor person, someone who was dirt poor at one point, and now he's pivoted. That's what I'm saying he's doing. And I'm saying no matter what class position you're in, if your politics are right, then you can speak to the issue. That's all I'm saying. I was never suggesting the thing that you were representing me to have been saying. It sounds like it was just a miscommunication. So I actually don't disagree with you on the big point. As far as the race piece of this, or the misogyny piece of this, pointing to a left-wing newspaper and saying, well, look, it's not misogyny. A left-wing newspaper was questioning this. Left-wing newspapers are misogynist. Democrats are misogynist. You know, misogyny isn't a right-wing problem. It's a universal problem. So just because it's in a left-wing newspaper doesn't nullify
but it's a
the
valid
claim
critique. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't like to cut you off, but I just want to say, do you not think it's a valid critique if somebody is given a job, not because they're qualified, but quite literally because they are sleeping with someone who gave them the position, which, like I said, caused a firestorm at that time? Do you not think it's a valid critique to say, well, they weren't even qualified to be the DA, and now all of a sudden they're trying to tell you that they're qualified to be the president of the United States? Don't you think that's a valid critique?
Yo, she just, wow, bruh. Like, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy how Candace Owens just put that. That's wild, man. Shout out to y'all. Salute. Matt said, sup, Piper Boy. Hope all is blessed. Salute is going over 100,000. Shout out to you. Hey, we trying to get to 110,000. Shout out to y'all.
Setting aside misogyny.
If that were the point.
Mario Chavez says she graduated from law school in 1989. So she listened to him for a few months and knew who he was before he was a star.
I was making, I would agree with you, but that wasn't the point. That was an example you gave that wasn't responsive to the point I was making. I'm saying right now, as she's running for president, there are people saying she's unqualified for the office. I think it's much more of a reasonable question to raise. 20 years ago when she's running for DA, I didn't take issue with that, right? Although I don't know enough about the Willie Brown situation to speak to it. If what you're saying is true, then yeah, you should question that. But I'm saying right now in 2024, after serving as vice president, after serving in the U.S. Senate, after serving as a district attorney, after having all of these jobs, state attorney general, I don't think qualification is the right thing to raise. I think it's perfectly reasonable to say, I don't think she's good at this. I think it's perfectly reasonable to say
what about the point?
I think it's a different issue.
Let's move to
the trans point.
Yes.
I'm going to the trans point. To the trans point, I don't think it's a contradiction for Democrats to do that unless they accept the terms of your argument. Let me be clear. If you think that trans women are not women, then yes, it would be a violation of women's rights to say that trans women should be boxing. I happen to believe.
I'm sorry.
But like, I want to ask y'all this question, right? And like, you know, people can do whatever they want with their body, their life, all of that. I do want to like put a disclaimer out there. People are like, the women are talking about now they're about to lose their rights, right? And they're saying things like that, which I don't know which rights they're talking about losing. And I'm not saying that to be facetious. You know, I'm not a woman, so any man speaking on a woman issue is gonna trigger people, you know what I mean? Because it's like, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? I'm just a dude. But I'm saying it to say this, right? Don't y'all think that the liberals who've been trying to allow biological men compete in female sports are taking something away from y'all? Like, don't y'all may think that a little bit? Because you got like 900 medals went out to biological men that outcompeted females in sports. Is that fair? Like, y'all don't have any problem with that? Or you got to think about this, right? So let's just say, President Trump just made this lady like the chair of something. I have to look and see what it was. Somebody messaged me about it, right? And she's the first woman to be the chair, right? What if that was a trans woman that Donald Trump would have elected to be a chair? Wouldn't that be like taking something away from y'all? Like, I'm just asking. You know what I mean? Like, cause you would be like, wait, hold on, this is supposed to be the first. And then the person's up there saying, well, I'm a woman. Like, how would y'all feel about that? Like, I'm really just asking. I'm not trying to be funny or facetious. Like, I'm just asking. Like, would y'all like that? Obey Jesus, shout out to you. You said yes. Like, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Mark.
I need to finish. No. I insist on finishing this point because I will not be cut off and misrepresented. But let me make the point.
Because it seems like to me, all right, so we know in America, it's like, it feels like, me being a man, I'm not saying this is definite, but it feels like there's a war on men, right? Nobody, you know, men can't do anything nowadays, or we getting blamed for stuff. Men are even scared. Like, when I be in the gym, when I used to be in the gym, you know what I'm saying? I'm lazy now. I eat a lot. I chill home. You know what I mean? But when I used to be in the gym, you know, women would be doing like TikToks and doing y'all see my my screensaver be making people mad in real life. Yo, so women would be like doing TikToks and having like ring lights and the phone set up with a tripod, and the dude might look like, what is this what is this person doing? Not looking at them like, oh, I want to get with them, but look like, yo, what is this person doing? You looking at me? Oh my God. And they scare you see what I'm saying? It's like, well, I'm just looking because it's kind of crazy, like what you doing. But they just like, it's so anti-man here in America now. This is how it feels. It's like, it's crazy, bro. And then even like with the Trump win, like you see how the liberals are just crashing out. And it's like, oh, well, I'm cutting my hair. I'm vowing to not make love anymore. Like they saying all of it. It's like, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
Okay. I happen to believe that biological males should not participate in women's sports. I am fine taking that position. Yeah, that's my point. Sometimes if you hear me out, you'll realize we're not even debating.
Okay, and then like let's be fair about that, right? What he's saying. How would y'all like a petite woman to say, I want to be in the NFL? I'm just saying, right? She gets in the NFL, she gets the ball, and they tackle her. I'm just saying, like a 350-pound all-muscle guy tackles you. Think about the liability of the lawsuits that were, well, they were too physical with it. Oh, they should have took into consideration. Like, you see what I'm saying? It just, I don't want to say, you know what I mean, like be like that, but it's just, it's a clear difference.
But there are many Democrats who don't take that position. There are many people on the left who believe that, and let me be clear, I think trans women are women. I just think sports are divided in a very particular way. In 8th grade, we make a decision that we need to divide sports up by gender or by sex, right? Because we believe that there's something fundamentally different about biological boys and biological.
What's up with all these celebrities that said they, not to digress, all these celebrities that say they're about to leave America? Like, why y'all still here? Like,
biological girls that say we shouldn't be running on the same track team. We shouldn't be boxing each other. I'm okay with that argument. I agree with that argument. I suspect, I don't want to speak for Candace, but I suspect she agrees with me on this, and I suspect you agree with me on that. So we're not in disagreement on that. But just because I have that position doesn't mean that everyone who disagrees with me is being a hypocrite, because they don't begin from the same premise that I begin from. That's all I'm saying. So I don't think it's contradictory.
Well, hang on. All right, let me, hang on. What other premise could there possibly...
Hold on. We're going to get back to him. Let's get to my girl, bro. Let's get to Rita. Let me show y'all what's going on. How people crashing out. Hold on.
Let's have some fun looking at reactions to Donald Trump's extraordinary win. The red wave has cometh, and the lefties are, well, they're giving me too much content.
I'm sorry. No! Why?
Look, it's fair.
Yo, she wildin', bro. I mean, I don't mean to be laughing at nobody's pain, but yo, like she literally thought I'm about to get on camera and just wild out like that.
Giving me too much content.
I'm sorry. No! Why?
Look, it's fair to say she's not handling it well.
Rita is petty, Rita. She said it's fair to say she's not handling it. Rita be clipping people. I'm telling you, Rita is lethal. Hold on, let's let Rita rock, bro.
These are, well, they're giving me too much content.
I'm sorry. No! Why?
Look, it's fair to say she's not handling it well. As for this next lass, I'm not sure where she is today.
I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man, I will burn this whole place to the ground.
And this woman is too old to be this stupid, but sadly, leftism and TDS can leave the sufferer delirious, delusional, and dangerously stupid.
You voted for a racist, a rapist, a dictator. You voted for a bully, a bigot, and a narcissist. Even the Germans tried to warn us, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen to the historians, the psychologists, the educators, and the intellectuals. Of course not, because Dictatorship 101 is to convince you to distrust the media, the educated, and to create an us versus them mentality.
It's always the dimmest folk who go on about educated experts.
Look at this, y'all. Let me show y'all this. This is crazy. This is literally crazy, right?
I would go as far to say that I would purchase a Glock, and if you and I are walking on the same street and it's dark out and you're a white male, you have to be white for this to count, okay? If you're a white male, even if you don't approach me, I will shoot you. Yeah, I know. So, has to be on the street, you and I, has to be at nighttime. During the day, not so much, but at nighttime, okay? And you have to have very white skin, and be a male.
If you're wondering why these lefties are so triggered, so shocked by reality, so out of touch with their fellow...
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, they saying stuff like that. That's crazy. But like she don't understand. It's like, that's crazy, bro. If somebody got something to say about all these people cutting their hair in defiance of Trump's win.
In response to all the liberals who are shaving their heads to fight the patriarchy, I just want to make it clear that I have cancer. I'm not stupid.
And she got Trump thug life. Yo, and then Jimmy Kimmel is crying. Like, come on, bro.
Let's be honest. It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants.
Wait. So it's a terrible night for women and children, for the hardworking. Look. How is it? So if somebody wants to make it to where America is more affordable again, that's terrible. Jimmy Kimmel, is that what you're saying? This is the danger. Like, this is what I'm telling y'all, the left controls like way too many like stations and way too many shows, like The View, the Jimmy Kimmel, the Steve Colbert. It's like way too much. You know, this is dangerous because you get people out here spilling propaganda out like this. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? Like, how is that a loss? Like, what is he saying?
To make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science.
You think this is bad for healthcare? You don't remember when Trump went after Purdue? You don't remember the opiate crisis that was going on, and Trump was one of the people that stood out and like was, you know, they had to pay a big fine for that. You don't remember that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, these doctors be over prescribing stuff for people. What is you? Like, there's a whole Netflix documentary on it. Of what they can do. Like, what doctors will do.
For journalism, for justice, for free speech, it was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine.
What are you talking about, Jimmy Kimmel? You got an administration that's spending tons of money and giving like $60 billion to Ukraine. That is going to end up hurting, that could potentially hurt Social Security in the future with this level of spending. What are you talking about? They said, here's another million, Jimmy Kimmel. Just get up there and say something. Just make people mad. It don't have to make sense. And then like when you get into a hurricane comes, you're eligible for $750 per household. But yeah, we're gonna write another check for $1.5 billion for Ukraine. This dude ain't even making sense to me, bro. I don't care that you about to cry.
For the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy.
He said for the hardworking immigrants. What are you talking about, bro? Like, Trump has been talking about illegals. He's not going after, like, regular migrants that came here legally. He's talking about illegals. Like, what did you talk? Like, this dude, bro. Somebody said, Marcus Chapman, Piperboy, nobody was saying thug life until you started it. Now it's on T-shirts. Yeah, I seen that. But you got to know, Marcus Chapman, if you've been rocking with me for a while, and this is not, like, you know, a lot of trends that happen, like, has started from this channel. Like, you know that. You know what I'm saying? Even with the whole, like, that Kendrick Lamar, and I said, like, oh, well, Kendrick's not, like, hitting people with copyright. I started that, and then every No Life Shack talked about it, and then everybody talked about it. I mean, it's like wild trends that started from this channel. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Robert Kennedy. He ended up posting Thug Life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, it happens on this channel. A lot of stuff start.
And decent.
And you got to think, too, we got like 30-something million views on this channel. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people watch.
And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
Like, what kind of, is that bringing America together? I don't think so, bro.
Robert De Niro, Rob Reiner, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and others. From The View, Rachel Maddow, Mark Ruffalo, Mark Hamill, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Richard Marx, Alec Baldwin, Pink, Ron Howard, Julia Roberts, George Clooney, Leo DiCaprio, Oprah, Cardi B, Lizzo, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Jennifer Garner, J-Lo, Andy Cohen, Cher, Bryan Cranston, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kathy Griffin, Michael Keaton, Rosie O'Donnell, John Stamos, Eva Longoria, John Legend and his wife, Spike Lee, Sean Astin, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Jon Stewart, Bill Maher, Alyssa Milano, Bruce Springsteen, Barbara Streisand, Mark Cuban, and others.
What man like listens to Bruce Springsteen? Come on, bro. Let's be real.
Well, that was absolutely horrible. I just dropped my son off at school, and there were dozens of parents, unlike ever before, walking their kids all the way to the gate. There was at least a half a dozen parents holding their child and crying with them. Crying with them. And parents crossing the street and walking their kids all the way up to the gate.
So before he starts, I'm not gonna so yeah, I've been saying thug life and politics, and it kind of like people start saying it. It is what it is. But I've been reached out to by a lot of people. And I can't. But the thing that I don't like, with a lot of people is y'all will reach out to people like, but they can't like just, people got like major brands. They can't like support you like right off the bat. Like, I get it, you know what I mean? But it's like people will reach out to you in private. Like, I don't like that, because like when I was talking about entertainment and like battle rap, you get that, like people reach out to you privately, but they won't say nothing publicly. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like when people do it. I'm not gonna put y'all on blast, but people have been reaching out, like paying attention. So I say that.
Gate and stuff. And nervously, all of us kind of looking at each other. And we're all thinking the same thing. And we're all just scared parents. Scared. I cannot even begin to tell you how weird that experience just was. Because normally I drive up, I walk my son to the gate. I'm one of the few. It's usually me and some other guy in a sweatshirt all the time. Not today. Not today. It was packed, and every parent was walking their child all the way to the gate. And there was tears and crying and hugging
Scaring
and holding.
kids. Shout out to Thizzle Young, a member.
And yet we do nothing.
Yeah, I see a lot of that. Even like on the jobs, people are seeing things like people just crashing out at work, like talking crazy. And, you know, a lot of conservatives just be sitting around like, let them talk. Like, it be happening, bro. Like, I think people would low key be mad, but I don't think it would be to this level. So, look, Vitali, a legal immigrant child, I ain't gonna even, like, person that was trying to, like, get with underage people, like, go on my Twitter if you want to see that. Like, illegal immigrant, bro. Like, what? They caught him. Breaking following Trump's victory, New York City mayor announced he's ending food vouchers for illegals. Yo, and then I'm seeing people in California, Newsom, whatever his name. Look, the dude, yo, I don't even want to get into talking about. We might have to save talking about him in another live, bro. Dude is wilding. Dude is wilding. I can't believe he's not in jail. Dude is wilding.
News, the mayor just announced that the city will no longer issue vouchers to migrants to pay for food, ending a controversial program that had repeatedly come under attack by conservatives and others.
This pilot program in New York City, drenched in both humanity and controversy, distributed debit cards to migrant families staying in city-funded hotels and allowing them to buy their own food.
Bro, we gotta work, and they just giving people debit cards, putting them up in like nice hotels. What is this?
News reporter Josh Einier following the breaking news for us. Josh?
Well, Bill, it's a program that, as you say, generated plenty of controversy, but now its absence may raise even more questions.
YouTube, can I get the 100,000 plaque, please? Can we do that? But this is crazy. Following Trump's victory, New York City mayor announced he's ending food vouchers.
The so-called Immediate Response Cards pilot program was designed to help feed migrant families who'd found themselves in New York with no way to afford food.
Imagine me and y'all, like everybody in the chat, all the subscribers, shout out to y'all for rocking with your boy, right? Shout out to Trail Smith, Obey Jesus, everybody, Dawn, Jake. Look, imagine all of us just said, all right, let's just go to Switzerland, and we just gonna live there, and then we gonna make the government pay for us. And they gonna put us in, like, the nerve of you. Hey y'all, let's go to London. We tired of America. We just gonna go over there, and then we gonna make them pay for us, make them give us food, make us, like, that's crazy. That is literally crazy. And then they gotta work, but we gotta. That is crazy, bruh. Like, people are just insane. Like, the thinking of the government officials in certain places is just literal insane. And I see people crashing out on Twitter, right? Like, battle rap people that live in New York, like, getting mad. And it's like, yo, I just literally went to New York not too long ago, and it's like flooded with illegal people in there. Tearing up the city, everything. And y'all want more of this? Y'all can't even afford. Y'all be complaining about rent prices. Y'all tenements be looking crazy. Y'all be paying like $1,700 a month, like crazy price. Y'all be cool with that? Like, why do y'all like being robbed? Why do y'all like a government not doing nothing? Like, why do y'all be liking that? Doing everything for everybody else. Like, why do y'all be liking that? I don't know. Sanctuary cities are crazy. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, you know, America, like, bring your wounded, bring it, like, but come over here legally. That's what I'm about. Come over legally. That way, you know, I got peace of mind. If something go down and somebody comes over and tries to come at America, you're going to be standing with us. You know, come over legally. But this is literal insanity, bro.
one-year
I'm gonna show y'all what that California governor doing, bro. I'm about to show y'all in a minute, but this is
contract
crazy.
provided what the city described as culturally relevant food to 2,600 migrant families, allowing them to basically buy what.
Bro, they on the bus. It's a nice bus too. Sorry, blood pressure just. Just one.
What they wanted. A family of 4 with two kids under 5 got about $350 per week to cover food in a program the city said would actually.
You're giving them $350 a week for food? Oh my God, bro. What are we doing? Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that? Hey, New Yorkers. Y'all want to pay all this money in taxes? They want to, you cross the bridge, it's a tax. You do this, it's a tax. They tax you like crazy in New York and giving them all of your money. Eric Adams, Diddy's friend, gave him the key to the city. This is what they doing. Imagine the government giving you $350 a week for food. Bro, I can't even. I'm not Asian. I don't know math. It's a lot of money for food a week. Nah, bro. Tell me that ain't true. They giving them $1,400 a month in food vouchers? So when y'all be arguing on the timeline, mad at everybody's opinion that's not cool with this is crazy. Y'all just don't care about y'all tax money. This is crazy.
Year. It also reduced food waste. You may remember the food the city had been providing in migrant shelters was seen as not culturally sensitive to the needs of some migrant groups, and it ended up just going to waste. For more than a year, the city was groaning under the weight of more than 200,000 asylum seekers. Officials say the migrant population has actually reduced lately. In fact, a massive shelter on Roosevelt Island.
No, this cannot be happening. Joe Rogan was right, man. Shout out to Joe Rogan. He was right. He was actually telling the truth.
is in the process of closing. In the meantime, Mayor Adams spoke on the phone yesterday with President-elect Donald Trump, who had vowed during his campaign to mass deport migrants. Aside from congratulating him on his win, though, Adams today would not say what they discussed.
Yeah, Adams, you get Adams out of office, bro. This is like, y'all, look, lefties, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen, I'm not trying, listen to me. This is your governor. California governor says he'll refuse to deport illegal immigrants. He is refusing to deport them. Don't they like not allow, like, don't we see all these videos popping up of people alleging that there's no voter ID requirements in California?
The California governor, Gavin Newsom, is now claiming he will refuse to deport illegal migrants when Trump takes office.
And we ultimately renounce the kind of bigotry, the kind of xenophobia that is front and center in discussions and debates like this.
Why do you think they don't want to deport them? Hey, chat, I'm not going to say it. I want to see if somebody in the chat, why do you think California does not want to deport illegal immigrants that's coming into our country? And then the four principals say, yeah, in California, it's illegal to show an ID to vote. I don't know that. I'm just saying. I'm just reading your comment. Jamie Malinky said, I lived in Cali. It's a strange place. Yo, the people be coming here like to Nashville, Tennessee. I'm like, why are you here? Like thug life, like, yo, like, why are you here? Like being nice. Like, oh, what brought you here? Like, why are you here? Oh, well, I like country music. You done moved all the way across the country for country music? You know these artists like live in California and New York and different places? They're like, oh, well, they just come to record here. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, but the music. And so why else you move? Oh, it was real expensive in California. Oh, so how, are you a Democrat or Republican? I'm a Democrat. So you gonna come here and vote the same way? Yeah. Like, what? Why are you here? We don't want this in Tennessee. Matt said California don't want to send them back because of the votes. I'm from Long Beach, California. Piper Boy. Hey, shout out to you, Matt. You said it, not me. Daughter of the Lion King said, will you see what percentage is of Democratic vote right?
I thought the Attorney General was right about the Trump administration having issues with immigrants, but I think he could have been even more pointed, and forgive me, Mr. Attorney General, by saying he has a particular problem with brown people.
I'm just like, how people can stand in front of your face and sell your country out or their state out in front of your face and you just accept it is literally insanity. We don't want to deport illegals. They are trying to be racist. No, they're illegal. Trying to pull on your heartstrings. He's in it too. Like trying to sell y'all out, bro. Like allegedly, thug life. I'm not saying it's all alleged. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it just looks weird.
Not even immigrants.
The California governor, Gavin Newsom, is now claiming that he will refuse to deport illegal migrants when Trump takes office as president.
Americans, well, it could be because they consume the type of media I'm about to show you now. Here are some of our favourite media leftists who were convinced that Donald Trump was toast, that Kamala was going to win, and win easily.
In my humble view, lights out.
Please welcome back the next president of the United States.
Hey, hasn't she been removed? I thought she lost her contract. Whoopi Goldberg. She's still on The View.
I think it's going to be a blowout, actually. I don't think it's going to be a close race. I think there are going to be those Republicans that just vote.
Her opinion was very solid there, wasn't it? Hey, I think the blowout was the other way around, lady.
It'll be tied on Election Day, as always it will. The polls will be tied, and then he'll lose.
You call us trash? Oh, J.D. Vance, you just effed up in a way that I've never seen in my political life, and I worked for Sarah Palin.
I would say take Harris over 270 electoral votes. Let these fools in these crypto markets do something. Let them drive the betting line into a favorable place and then take advantage of it. That's what I would do. I think she's going to win.
You wrote Trump is toast. You stand behind that today?
Oh, even more so. I feel.
I will never watch Star Wars again, bro. I will never watch Star Wars again. I never watched it anyway. Thug Life, it was too nerdy. But I will never watch it again. Ain't that the Star Wars dude? He looked like him. I don't know who this is. Who is this? Don't he look like the dude that created Star? I know that ain't him. Don't he look like the dude that created Star Wars? Wait, who is his name? Who is this? You said that is Michael Moore. This ain't Luke Skywalker. Who is the dude that created Star Wars? I'm just joking with y'all, but don't he look like George Lucas? So
the same way that I felt a few weeks
Michael Moore.
ago that Trump is toast.
And they're not taking the loss well. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View lashing out at white women without college degrees.
What we did not
My bad, Star Wars. My bad.
Have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him.
Those awful women and Latino men, how dare they think for themselves?
Oh yeah, he did the Fahrenheit 9/11. He did that. Michael Moore. My bad, George Lucas. You know what I'm saying? Thug Life, George Lucas. You know what I'm saying? Thug Life. You know what I'm saying? My bad, bro.
By the way, the exit polls showed that the majority of married men, unmarried men, and married women voted for Trump. It was the unmarried women who backed Kamala. What was it that J.D. Vance said about that group? And Sunny also made some absurd claims about losing her civil rights. The desperation to be a
My bad.
victim is strong in this one.
I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I
how does your daughter have less rights than you have? Like, what is she talking about?
remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have...
Yo, we got 137,000 views on this video. Hopefully it ain't a whole bunch of people watching me say that about Michael Moore.
less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed.
And the perpetually aggrieved ladies of The View also want greater censorship. They want to curb free speech on social media.
Wow.
So a Democrat never loses again.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
How is this legal? Or, I mean, maybe it's like I don't know, man. When I be looking at shows like this, The View, how are they having such they are controlling the minds of a lot of women. So, oh, social media needs to be regulated. Like, what are you saying? Why? How are y'all just like, what is going on here? How are you clapping for a lady saying that?
so a Democrat never loses again.
Well, it would help if we could regulate.
They're literally saying, oh, we should take away your freedom of speech on social media. This is what this lady said. Y'all like, wake up! How long have people been asleep? Wake up!
Social media, because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
Now to MSNBC's Joy Reid, who's always having a normal one. Here she claims that Florida is a fascist state.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature.
Oh, yo, they've been killing Joy Reid. All on social media, they been getting her, bruh. She might not ever open up Twitter. They wilding on her on Twitter.
In Florida, and that kind of extreme, sort of extremist, right-wing, fascist-type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place?
Oh dear, and if you're in the habit of consuming media like that, then you may react like this when Donald Trump has a landslide victory.
We may not have rights tomorrow.
My bad. I'm a bust out laugh. We may not have rights tomorrow. Did she just say that? She is crazy, bruh.
Yeah, I'm scared to go to sleep.
Oh, they scared to sleep and everything. Rita got different licenses than me, man. I can't be playing music.
The best reaction goes to this jokester. This is superb work.
I'm literally shaking right now. I'm a trans woman with a baby on the way. What am I gonna do? Keep it?
Rita! Dog life, Rita! Yo, Rita is wild. Did he just say that? Chat, did Rita just play a dude saying that? Hold on, bro.
This jokester, this is superb work.
I'm literally shaking right now. I'm a trans woman with a baby on the way. What am I gonna do? Keep it?
Now that was parody. I'm not sure if this next video is. I suspect it could be real. It's hard to tell nowadays.
I can't believe Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so up. God damn it.
And here is another white dude for Kamala, or is it a work of satire?
What the hell? You cannot be serious. How did I wake up to this garbage as my president? That's right, garbage. I went to bed last night and she was ahead. I woke up to this freaking nightmare. Donald Trump? How?
I think this dude be joking. I think he was joking because I seen him on Twitter. That's why she's smart. They must have a news license. She's smart the way she did it. She was like, yo, is this satire? She's smart how she did that. You know, that way it could be either way.
Let's end lefties with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, pretending she's some heroine in a Nazi film. Here she warns that we're about to enter a period of fascism. I'm so scared.
Let's say peers in history of mass movements of people that mobilize to protect one another in times of fascism and authoritarianism. And this is the era that we are poised to enter.
Joining me now is Batia Ungasagon.
I love me some Rita. Shout out to Rita. Let's listen to a little bit more of this before I get out of here.
The bottom line is, these are people who were born biological males who are competing against biological females. And there's a reason why we don't do that in sport. It's why the Olympics have always separated the sexes, because the truth is, if they didn't, women wouldn't win any medals.
Look, I mean, listen, I know that
I think what you should do is bring someone in who has the position that you're trying to debate. Instead of, it's like you're trying to force a debate with me on something that we agree on. So bring on somebody who has the opposite position, and they can speak for that. But what I'm saying is that
I just wanted to add here, like, just to just to say where we do actually differentiate, like trans women are absolutely not women. And that's why we're playing the crazy game right now, is because we have people that are trying to parse reality and say, well, I believe trans women are women, but they're also biological men. Like the fact that we are calling them trans women, it is because they are not women. I am a woman, and no matter how you feel on the inside, you are never going to be a woman. And that disagreement, that fundamental disagreement, is the reason.
They're like taking away like a woman being a woman. Like, that's interesting. I'm not saying I ain't saying, I'm just saying that's it. Like, there's so many things being like literally taking away from women, like in front of their faces, and they're like, oh, they're taking our right. Trump is taking our right. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, listen to what she's saying.
Reason why we are playing the crazy game. I won't play it. I will not address a man that is in a dress as a woman. It's insulting.
Dude on the right is Mark Lamont.
To me, it's insulting to the things that actual women lived through in their lives. And, you know, you can play Halloween, you can put lipstick on a pig. It is still a pig, and it is just Halloween. So I just feel very strongly about that, and I wanted to make that clear. And that this is a large part, though, Piers, going back to your point of why, because my sisters were on the left, and this is the first election that they voted for Trump. They're from Connecticut. Dyed-in-the-wool Democrats, I guess you could say, and they moved away. And the trans issue was the #1 reason that they did.
Yeah.
What they said was happening in the school system made them fearful. They have sons. They thought it was completely crazy and bizarre that they're insisting upon trying to make toddlers. My sisters have toddlers believe that they can be anything that they want and that they're non-binary. They truly believe the left has gone crazy. And they say, I didn't leave the left left me. And that is an accurate statement to make, because they cannot just see things that are just so plainly obvious. They are trying to criminalize the idea that a woman is a woman, and you can't just become a woman because you feel a certain way on the inside. And the right, like I'm doing.
Like, I can't just become an IRS agent. Like, look, I identify as IRS. Give me your money right now. Like, you can't. I mean, I don't know. You can do whatever you want to do. Thug life. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? If I can identify anybody, be an IRS agent, give me your money. A percentage, 18% of every check.
Right now, I will just say it as it is, right? You are not a woman. I am sorry that you are suffering from a mental disorder. If you were suffering from any other mental disorder, I would treat you the same way. I want you to get better. But because you are suffering from a mental disorder does not mean that I have to pretend that I have a mental disorder and that I see things differently. I don't.
I mean, Mark, I'll let you respond directly to what Candace says there. Well, let me just point out one thing. Let me just point out one thing. There was a New York Times report today that said that one of the most effective Trump ads during the presidential race towards the end was the one where he had Kamala Harris saying, she'll call you they, them.
Yo, hold on, my bad. Vegas Woman 702, a subscriber said, I identify as exempt.
Or call you, or whatever it was. And that turned out to be, to the Trump campaign team's surprise, one of their most effective ads of the whole race, apparently, which suggests it is a much bigger issue than some Democrats clearly want people to think. I saw Joe Scarborough on this yesterday, very vocal, saying this trans issue has gone completely wrong. The Democrats should not be supporting this kind of thinking. And Bill Clinton, apparently, according to the New York Times, he directly tried to get...
Then this is like weird, right? So somebody brought this up, which, you know, I was in a bar and I was talking to somebody, and this is what they said. So there was a, you know what I'm saying, broke out in a woman's bathroom, right? So it breaks out. It's with a trans, you know what I'm saying, student or whatever that was in a woman's bathroom, like a biological dude in a woman's bathroom. And so breaks out, right? The girl is losing the situation bad, right? She's losing. The teacher, it was like a male teacher outside of the bathroom, but he couldn't go in the bathroom to break it up. So he had to like go and get like another teacher or somebody, you know, to go and break it up. But he was right there like when it all took place. So, but it's like a biological man can be, it's like, it's weird, bro. It's weird.
The Democrats and Kamala Harris and her
team. It's different. I should say it's different.
team to understand
What's up,
that
Colin
they had
Radley?
to come out against.
Cole.Carter with the $10 super chat. Shout out to you. Said Thug Life. Hey, they taking the Thug Life code. You know, but shout out to them. Shout out to everybody.
This, but they didn't.
I see Colin Radley in the chat. Shout out to you, bro.
And that is, I think, a big problem, particularly, as I say, the reason I think it's a big problem is if at the same time you're trying to say, I'm the person protecting women's rights. One of the reasons why so many women...
I don't know why it's not showing up, bro.
...didn't vote for her, maybe because they just didn't buy it. Sorry, if you did, you wouldn't allow this.
I'll respond to all those points. I think they're interesting points. I think, one, I'm not sure anyone... And again, I need to see the data to speak to this, just as we all should. I don't think anyone is voting for the president based on this issue. It could be an issue that tips the scale, but I think most people aren't voting for president based on this issue. I just don't think it's the priority issue of most people.
Mothers are.
I do. Again, they may be. I'd like to see the evidence of that. I can't say definitively one way or the other, but it's never happened before in any.
Somebody say super disappeared. Huh. If you hold on, let me read this.
Election, so this would be the first time. So if it's true, just show me the evidence, and I'm happy to learn from it. But to the bigger point here, I think that we can say, you know, when I say woman, I'm including cisgendered women, I'm including transgender women.
Super chats are coming through. Daughter of the King said with the 199 said Thug Life. Shout out to you, Colin Radley. It said I got it. Thug Life. Why they take your live down the other day? You got to think, right? So they were real. DJ Academic said something about this. He was just like, don't go live like on election or he said something like don't go live on election day because like something could happen, right? It's what he was saying. That's why you didn't really see him like live on election day at all. And so I mean, there's people with like major channels was like hitting me up like, yo, like, what is you doing? Like texting like, don't. And then that's what happened. Cause they want to make sure. I mean, I don't know what it was. YouTube, shout out to, I'm just a vet with the 199 said chat back up. Shout out to you, bro. I don't know what it was, man. Like YouTube looked into, I think somebody just got mad, you know, and the YouTube was like overzealous because it was election day. You know, and they wanted to make sure everything was good. But they looked at everything and was like, you ain't do nothing wrong. So we don't know why that happened. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But they said I'm good.
When I say women, I'm including all of their experiences. When I want to,
and I don't want to say what I think it is because it could be something else. But it was like mad. You got to think like, you know, like YouTube networks. You know how you got like full screen, you got like Quarter Lab and like one of the major like networks, like I hit up, like just asked them, I'm like, yo, what's up? And they like, you know, showed me how to like get in touch with somebody to like resolve it. And then they resolved it. You know what I'm saying? At first they was like, no, we ain't rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no. Then I started like another channel, but then like I hit them up again. I'm like, yo. And then they looked at it because I guess it was like a automatic like AI or something. But then they had a human look at it. It was like, no, you don't really do nothing wrong. So they put it back. But I hit YouTube up. Like I talked about it like earlier in this live. I was like, yo, are you not allowed to talk about Trump? Like, let me know. And they didn't say yes or no. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was. You know, but it was back up. But I was like, yo, I was so mad. I'm like, yo, I'm just going to go crazy on Twitter. My Twitter started getting lit. You know what I'm saying? Then I opened up a Rumble. Then I started another, you know, like a new YouTube account and people like went over there and they subscribed. So I don't know, man. But it was, I think it was just an election day. They, you know, maybe they was just super. I mean, I wasn't the only one that happened to. It was like 4 people. Like with bigger channels than me, like had issues. So, I mean, but it's, you know, they fixed it.
Protect
and
women.
then Jamie Malinky with the $4.99 said, love this channel. So happy to support. Hey, shout out to you for supporting and subscribing. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to you, Colin Radley.
Don't just want to protect cisgender women. I want to protect transgender women. When it comes to sports, for me, it's about.
And then a guy, and I talked to him for like an hour, right? My expert opinion, it's like his name's Math Hopper. He's got a really big channel. He's got like over 1 million subscribers. Like he just went live And they pulled his live down. He's like, what? Like, I mean, around that, I think it was like around that time, they pulled his live down. And he was just telling me, he was like, yo, people saying like, don't, on election day, just be careful. So I don't know, man.
Competitive advantage if someone were a cisgender woman, which we've seen before, that had high levels of testosterone. But we're not.
Hey, JJ Shotty said, I bet they left up. I'm not arguing with you on that. I'm not. But you gotta also look. So if you go to Elon Musk's Twitter, right? He's showing you on Twitter. Like Elon Musk is literally showing you like what's going on with a lot of different platforms. Like around that time, you know what I mean? Like, so if you just go to Elon Musk's Twitter and you would know like what was really up with a lot of like platforms. I'm not saying this one, I'm just saying, like, just go to his Twitter. You will see what could have been going on.
Trans just had high levels of testosterone that gave a competitive advantage. I would say they also should not compete. It's not their transness. It's about keeping a level playing field. And I believe, as a general rule, and there might be some exceptions, but as a general rule, a person.
Daughter King said, "Super chat is still tripping now."
Who is a trans woman in particular? We see this actually on the converse when trans male boxers attempt to compete with cis male boxers. The trans women lose. They lose badly. And honestly, I worry about their safety and their health. So it's not a safe playing field. But that doesn't mean that to acknowledge the womanness and the humanity and the fundamental dignity and legitimacy of trans identities is to play make-believe or to play fairy tales. I think we can acknowledge their humanity. And most Democrats, most Democrats, I think, who I speak to, and again, I'm not a Democrat, but I'm on the left.
Hey, y'all, we got to continue this. Shout out to y'all, man. I could talk to y'all all day. That's why shout out to, people that, we got 160,000 views. I like when the chat's rolling, but I like to see y'all, what I'm saying, what y'all saying. So I don't do subscribers only to hide. Like, if you want to subscribe and be liberal, like, you could do that. But I just want to see what people are saying. If I got to just the chat is moving so fast, I can't, like, see what's going on. That's why I do subscribers only, like, a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to all y'all. I got to go to work, and we going to be right back. Y'all know this weekend we about to get lit. You know what I'm saying? Probably Sunday is where I'm going to spend a lot of time, like, going live, then Monday and Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody. I'm out. Come rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. We got a lot of subscribers. I think we got, like, almost like 500 subscribers this live. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out, y'all. Peace. And keep an open mind. Also, all y'all be careful, and, if you voted for whoever you voted for, just be careful because people are crashing out in real life, so I don't want anything to happen to nobody. Just be super careful. You know what I mean? Y'all did what y'all needed to do one way or another. Either you was blue, you was red. When you was voting, you did what you needed to do. And we got a new president. You know what I'm saying? So my only hope is that he could stay safe until the inauguration, and he's got good people around him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Trump.